God is worried about you because something is going to hurt you. God wants to save you, so listen to me carefully till the end. There is something you cannot see with your eyes, but heaven sees it clearly. There is a danger ahead of you that has not revealed itself yet, but God in His great mercy has already stepped in. What you're feeling right now, the unrest in your heart, the sudden fear, the feeling that something is off, is not your imagination. It is the Spirit of God trying to get your attention. You might not understand it all yet, but God is worried about you because something is going to hurt you if you keep moving forward unaware. Please don't ignore this voice. This is not just another message. This is a divine warning wrapped in love, and you must stay with me till the very end, because what I share may be the very thing God uses to protect your soul, your future, your life. If your heart is already feeling heavy or stirred, type Amen in the comments to agree in the Spirit. God is moving even now. Before we go any further, I want to ask one thing from you, with all the love in my heart. If this touches you even slightly, please like this video so that others who are lost in the noise of the world may also be reached before it's too late. Now, hear this with all seriousness and tenderness. God is not a distant God who watches from afar. He is a Father who cares so deeply that even before harm arrives, He speaks. Right now you may not see the full picture, but something spiritual has shifted. You have stepped into a season where the enemy is plotting, but God is interrupting those plans. The reason you feel a shaking in your emotions, or a sudden urge to pull back from certain people or choices, is not fear, it is divine protection. God is worried because He sees what you cannot, and His warning is always love. Maybe you've been thinking about making a decision. Maybe it's a relationship you've been holding on to that drains your spirit every day. Maybe it's a path you're trying to force open when doors keep shutting. Or maybe it's a secret battle you've been fighting alone, hoping it would go away. Whatever it is, God is telling you now that if you ignore His stirring, if you silence His gentle warnings, you may walk into something that will break you deeper than you ever expected. But because He loves you more than you can understand, He is pulling you back before the wound happens. Comment 1111 if your spirit feels aligned with what is being said here. The pain you're feeling is not punishment. The delay is not rejection. The confusion is not abandonment. What you're facing is a divine interruption because God is more worried about your destiny than your comfort. He is not here to impress you. He is here to protect you. He would rather you feel shaken in the moment than destroyed later. That is why you are hearing this now. Think about how many times you ignored the tug in your chest, and it led to heartbreak. Remember those nights when you cried because you didn't listen to the inner voice that told you to walk away sooner. This time, God does not want that to happen again. This time, the voice is louder. This time, the warning is stronger. Because this time, the attack coming is darker, sharper, and more deceptive. But greater than all that is the hand of God stretched toward you right now, urging you to pause, to stop, to listen, to come close. God is worried about your spirit becoming numb. He is worried about you getting so used to chaos that you forget what peace feels like. He is worried about the fatigue in your soul that keeps you too tired to pray, too tired to worship, too tired to even care. That is not how He created you. You were meant to be full of life, full of joy, full of divine strength. But if you keep going down the path your flesh desires, the pain ahead will be greater than the temporary satisfaction you're clinging to. So He speaks, through whispers in the night, through strangers, through unexpected signs, through sleeplessness, through dreams, through this exact message, because love will always warn before it saves. And God, your Creator, your Father, your Defender, is speaking now through love. He is not here to shame you. He is not disappointed in you. He is desperate to protect you. If He didn't care, He would stay silent. But His silence would be your ruin. His voice, however, is your rescue. You need to understand something deeply right now. The devil is not afraid of your potential. He is afraid of your obedience. The reason your spirit is under attack is not because you're weak, but because heaven sees your strength. That's why God is worried. Because the enemy wants to destroy what God planted in you. He wants to poison your peace, drain your purpose, and numb your hunger for God. And if you fall for the distractions, you may survive, but you will not soar. Please stay until the end. There is something God wants you to hear that will break the chain wrapped around your mind. Some of you have been having sudden anxiety without any cause. You've been waking up feeling like something is off. Others are feeling restless, trying to make sense of life, questioning everything, pulling away from people, isolating yourself, not because you want to, but because something in your spirit is unsettled. That is not weakness. That is discernment. God is awakening your spiritual senses because He is worried about what is lurking in the shadows. God is not giving you this warning to scare you. He is giving it to empower you. You have the authority through Jesus to cancel every plan of the enemy, but not if you keep sleeping spiritually. You cannot fight spiritual attacks with natural strength. You cannot walk into enemy territory without the covering of God. He is not calling you to panic, He is calling you to pray. Is this CIA-discovered ritual the answer to your financial breakthrough? A once hidden CIA brain ritual is now being whispered across the internet. This strange 7-second trick, confirmed by elite labs, activates your brain's wealth attraction center. It's helping everyday people experience miracles in money. But the government might shut it down. If you're seeing this, you're very lucky. The page might disappear any moment. Click the link in the description and comments to know this secret before it's deleted forever. Not with something big or obvious, but with little distractions, small compromises, constant discouragements, and thoughts that make you feel like giving up is easier than holding on. And God is worried, deeply worried, because something is coming that you are not ready for if you keep ignoring the whispers He has been sending. God is worried about you because He knows what the enemy has planned to break your spirit, and He is not willing to let you walk into that pain without giving you a chance to turn around. That's why this moment is holy. That's why you are still here, not by force, but because something in your soul knows this is God talking to you. He is saving you in real time. He is wrapping His arms around your mind before it shatters. He is placing a hedge around your life before the fire reaches your doorstep. This is how much He loves you. This is how far He goes to protect the ones He calls His own. If you believe this word is finding you for a reason, comment 222 to declare your trust in Him. God has seen the tears you haven't told anyone about. He has watched you wrestle with decisions that feel too heavy for your heart to carry alone. You've been smiling for others, but privately breaking down in your quiet moments. You've been strong for everyone, but no one notices when you're the one who needs to be held. That silent exhaustion you've been carrying is not invisible to heaven. God is stepping in because He is worried, not because you've failed, but because you've tried to carry too much for too long without letting Him carry you. There are people in your life that God has been trying to pull you away from, not because they are bad, but because they are not called to go where you're going. If you keep holding on to them, they will become the weight that delays your promise. God is not trying to isolate you to punish you. He is setting you apart to preserve you. He knows what kind of wound you will suffer if you continue trying to keep relationships, habits, and cycles that were only meant to be seasonal. When you don't let go in peace, you break in pieces. And He does not want that for you. God's heart aches for you when He sees how you've been pouring yourself into empty places, hoping to be filled. You've been looking for love in words that are inconsistent, chasing peace in things that only leave you anxious, depending on routines that look good on the outside but drain you spiritually. You've been surrounded but lonely, productive but unfulfilled, busy but lost. And in all of this noise, God has been trying to speak. He is worried that you've forgotten what His voice sounds like. So He is clearing out the distractions. He is stripping away the noise. He is slowing everything down, not to frustrate you, but to protect you from what was moving too fast. There is something you were about to walk into, a decision, a relationship, a situation that looked harmless on the outside, but was designed to destroy your peace. You were just one step away from something that would have drained the light from your soul. But God has seen it ahead of time, and He is interrupting it now. He is not warning you because He's angry. He is doing it because you matter to Him. You are the one He left the 99 for. You are the one He is chasing down with mercy. He will not stand by and watch you fall if there is still a chance to pull you back. You may not see what He's protecting you from, but one day you will thank Him for every delay, every redirection, every closed door. Because when God says no, it's never rejection, it's protection. You think you're being blocked, but you're really being preserved. You think you're losing time, but you're being bought more time to grow into the person who can carry the blessing without breaking under it. God is not just trying to save your today, He is saving your future. He is rescuing your purpose. He is guarding the version of you that you haven't even met yet. There is a stronger, wiser, healed, joyful, spirit-filled version of you that God is building, and every moment of obedience right now is shaping that person. Do not trade your future for a temporary distraction. Do not give up now just because the process feels lonely. What feels like loneliness is actually divine separation. You are not being abandoned. You are being hidden. Because what is valuable must be protected. God is worried about your silence. He sees that you've stopped praying like you used to. He knows you've been trying to survive when you were born to overcome. He knows your faith has been under attack, and the only reason you haven't fallen yet is because His hand has been holding you up. You didn't keep yourself all this time. It was grace that carried you. It was mercy that covered you. It was His love that shielded you from the attacks that should have taken you out. Now, He is waking you up because time is running out. You must not keep ignoring the urgency. There is a window open right now for you to come back into alignment. There is a protection that waits for your surrender. Not partial surrender, not temporary surrender, full surrender. The kind where you lay down your plans, your timing, your pride, your will, and say, God, I trust you even when I do not understand you. That kind of surrender will unlock the breakthrough you've been praying for. This is not the moment to run back to what you were delivered from. This is not the season to blend in with the crowd. You are called, you are chosen, you are marked, and because of that, you cannot live like everyone else. The things that others can get away with will cost you too much. God has placed too much oil on your life to let you slip into compromise. That is why He is worried, because He has invested too much in you to let you throw it all away for something temporary. What if just 7 seconds could flip your entire financial life? A shocking CIA leak has revealed a powerful brain ritual that's helping ordinary people wipe out debt and attract wealth beyond imagination. Backed by 4 cutting-edge neuroscience labs, this at-home breakthrough is turning everyday lives into dreams, luxury cars, beautiful homes, endless vacations. But this secret may vanish soon. Click the link in the description and comments now before it's deleted forever. There is still more He wants to show you, more He wants to give you, but your heart must be healed, your ears must be open, your spirit must be alert. Stay awake, Stay aligned. Stay close. Even if you don't feel it, even if you don't see the full picture, God is covering you with a love that is louder than the fear and deeper than the pain. He is calling you to listen, not just with your ears, but with your soul, because what's ahead of you is heavier than you can carry without Him. The spiritual atmosphere around you has been stirred for a reason, and it is because God is worried about something you've been ignoring, something you've pushed aside, something that is getting closer to hurting you if you don't shift your path now. There is a battle you didn't ask for, but it has already begun in the unseen realm. God, who is your shield, is moving ahead of you not to scare you, but to shelter you from an attack that would have pierced you in ways you are not ready to face. The reason you've been feeling unsettled, uneasy, unsure of yourself lately isn't just emotional, it's spiritual. Your spirit is picking up what your mind hasn't yet understood. Something in your environment, your decisions, your connections, or your silence has opened a door, and heaven is urgently stepping in to close it before the enemy walks through. Comment 333 to declare your faith if your heart feels this tug deeply right now. The Spirit of God is not distant from your pain, your confusion, or your longing for peace. He sees how hard you've tried to keep going. He sees the strength you've used to hold yourself together when all you wanted was to fall apart. You've been pushing forward, hoping things would get better, but inside, you've been carrying the quiet ache of someone who's just tired. And the Father, your protector, is not letting that go unnoticed. He knows the weariness of your heart. He knows how close you've come to giving up. That is why He's intervening now, not tomorrow. Now. You've been entertaining thoughts and feelings that are not yours. You've been letting voices speak into your life that were never sent by God. Words that confuse you, paths that delay you, people that distract you, habits that dull your spirit. And in the background of it all, the enemy has been slowly setting a trap. It may look harmless, it may feel familiar, but it's bait. And if you take it, it will cost you more than you can afford. That's why God is raising the volume of His voice in your life. That's why the stirring won't go away. Because you are precious to Him, and He will not let you walk blind into a snare meant to break your soul. God is worried about the direction your heart is leaning. He is worried because compromise has started to feel normal. He is worried because the boundaries you once guarded have slowly been loosened. What used to convict you has started to feel comfortable. What used to make you stop and pray now barely registers as wrong, and that's dangerous. Not because He's angry at you, but because He knows how fast the slide into darkness can be once your spiritual guard is down. He is not here to condemn you. He is not trying to shame you. He is trying to rescue you. Rescue you from decisions that feel right, but will lead to ruin. Rescue you from people who appear to care but carry hidden agendas. Rescue you from a spiritual slumber that the enemy wants to use to destroy your calling. God is calling you to wake up, to come back to Him fully, not halfway, not with conditions, not with one foot in and one foot out, but with surrender that says, even if it's hard, I trust you. Even if it hurts, I'll obey. Even if I don't see the whole picture, I'll stay in your hands. This is not a time to lean on your understanding. This is not a time to follow the crowd. This is not a time to pretend like you're fine when your soul is begging for help. This is a time to press into the presence of God like never before, to cry out, to return, to allow Him to search every part of you and remove what's not meant to stay. There is a blessing that is delayed because you're still holding on to things He asked you to release. There is a healing that hasn't fully bloomed because you're still touching old wounds. There is a breakthrough being held back because you're standing at the edge of obedience, but you haven't crossed into surrender. And God is worried because time is not waiting. The enemy isn't slowing down. The battle is spiritual, and only the Spirit of God can lead you through it safely. You don't have to understand everything to trust that God is speaking. You just have to respond. Even if all you can do is say, "God, I hear you." That's enough to start. That's enough to shift things. That's enough to invite His covering. God is not just warning you, He is equipping you. He is awakening the warrior in you. He is rebuilding the strength that life tried to steal. He is breathing into the places where your faith ran dry. You are not walking through this alone. You are not unprotected. You are not forgotten. You are seen, you are known, and you are being divinely guarded. He has angels standing between you and the very thing that was sent to hurt you. He has wrapped your life in a shield of grace. He has filled the air around you with His presence. But He is calling you to rise. He is calling you to come out of passivity. He is calling you to choose holiness again, to choose His will again, to choose the narrow path again. This world is loud, and the enemy knows how to make sin look sweet, how to make danger look like freedom, how to make destruction feel like pleasure. But God's voice is still stronger. His truth is still unshaken. His protection is still available, and His love is still fighting for you. Could this hidden CIA brain ritual be the real reason people are suddenly rich? A secret CIA discovery has just leaked, revealing a brain hack that's pulling wealth into people's lives effortlessly. It only takes 7 seconds, it's done at home, and it's backed by 4 neuroscience labs. Debt is vanishing, luxury is becoming normal. If you're seeing this, you're very lucky. The page might disappear any moment. Click the link in the description and comments to know this secret before it's deleted forever. You might have thought He was far, but the truth is, He was holding your heart in His hands, whispering peace into your storm, surrounding you with mercy you didn't even recognize. His protection didn't begin today. It's been covering you since before you even knew you were in danger. There is something coming ahead that you cannot walk into blindly. God is not warning you just to alarm you. He's warning you to prepare you, to strengthen you, and to realign your heart so you won't be caught off guard. There is a spiritual trap set in front of you, and without His direction, you might take a step that leads you into a season of pain that could have been avoided. His voice is coming stronger now, not to overwhelm you, but because He knows that if you can hear Him, you can be saved from what's trying to hurt you. Comment 555 if you believe God is protecting you from what you cannot yet see. Somewhere deep inside, you already feel the shift. You've been sensing a tension, a pressure in your spirit that you can't quite explain. You feel it when you try to rest. You feel it when you're around certain people. You feel it when you're alone. It's not fear, it's divine discomfort. God is making you restless in places where danger is hiding under the surface. He's pulling your spirit away from what looks normal, from what feels familiar, because He knows what is waiting if you keep walking that path. You've been strong, yes. You've handled things that broke others. You've endured storms that left deep scars. But God never asked you to survive on your own strength. He never expected you to carry all this weight alone. That's why your soul has been crying out without words. That's why your body feels tired even after rest. That's why you've lost interest in things that used to bring you joy. Your spirit is under pressure, and God is answering it now, not with condemnation but with comfort, not with judgment but with intervention. He is not worried about you because He thinks you're weak. He's worried because you're precious. You are chosen. You are covered in favor. And because of that, the enemy has been trying harder than ever to lead you away quietly, not with something obvious, not with some loud crisis, but with quiet distractions, slow spiritual decline, gentle compromises, and things that feel good but pull you away from His will. That's why God is raising His voice in your life now, because time is sacred, and your life is too valuable to be wasted in the wrong places. You are being called back to the secret place, the place where the world fades and only God remains. You've been surrounded by too much noise. You've let too many voices guide you. But only one voice can lead you into protection, into peace, into purpose. And that voice is calling now, stronger than ever before. God wants to rebuild the places in your heart that have been crumbling. He wants to silence the lies that have grown louder than His truth. He wants to hold you still long enough for your soul to breathe again. There is healing in surrender. There is power in obedience. There is rescue in repentance. God is not calling you to fix everything at once. He is calling you to return, to come back to the place where your heart beats in rhythm with His will. You don't need to have all the answers. You don't need to pretend you're fine. You only need to say, God, I'm yours again. And that simple cry is enough to unlock protection, direction, and peace that surpasses every fear. God is clearing your path not to punish you, but to prepare you. What you were about to walk into might have looked like a blessing, but it was a distraction dressed in light. Not everything good is from God. Not every opportunity is divine. Some open doors are spiritual traps in disguise, meant to delay, confuse, and eventually destroy the destiny planted inside you. That is why you must be still. That is why you must listen. That is why you must stop running ahead without checking if God is still leading. He is not just interested in saving you from one danger. He is interested in transforming you into someone who no longer walks into danger at all. Someone who can hear His voice even in the chaos. Someone who can recognize His hand even in the unknown. Someone who no longer chases what shines but waits for what is sanctified. That kind of faith comes through surrender, through daily choosing Him, through daily turning your face toward the light of His presence and saying, "Lead me again, Father." You were not created to live in fear. You were not created to live by guessing. You were created to walk in authority. But authority only comes when you stay under covering. And God's covering is where the enemy has no power. It's where confusion dies. It's where peace becomes your default, not your escape. It's where your spirit becomes alert again and you no longer fall for the same traps over and over. God wants to lead you into that kind of life. But it starts with a decision. Right here, right now. You've gone through enough already. You've battled in silence long enough. You've wept in corners that no one knew about. But God knew. And He has kept a record of every cry. Every tear has been seen. Every wound has been counted. And now He is saying, "Come, let me take over. Let Him fight the battles you've been losing in your mind. Let Him speak truth over the lies that have been growing louder. Let Him rescue you not just from external harm but from internal breakdowns, the kind that no one else can see, the kind that you hide behind a smile. You are not too far gone. You are not too late. The moment you turn back is the moment grace rushes in like a flood. The very moment your heart whispers, "God, help me," is the moment angels are dispatched to surround you. Do not believe the lie that says you've waited too long. Do not believe the voice that says God has given up on you. He hasn't. He is right here, still speaking, still calling, still waiting. Why is this 7-second brain ritual suddenly going viral? Leaked CIA files have exposed a hidden brainwave technique that opens the floodgates to wealth. Verified by 4 top labs, this ritual is turning financial pain into prosperity fast. From massive bills to luxury trips, it's changing lives. But this secret won't stay online long. Click the link in description and comments now to access it before it's permanently deleted. They were acts of mercy. Heaven was interfering. God blocked it, delayed it, or removed it altogether, not because He wanted to hurt you, but because something in it would have hurt you more than you could have handled. And he is still doing it right now, still standing between you and things that carry hidden danger behind their beauty. You may have felt rejected, disappointed, or even abandoned by God in some of those moments. But what you called a setback was really God stepping in. What you thought was loss was divine protection, and the pain you felt was the tension between your desire and God's deliverance. You wanted it so badly, but God saw something beneath the surface that your heart couldn't see yet. And because He is more concerned with your future than your comfort, He said no, not to break you, but to save you. If your spirit feels aligned with this truth right now, type 1212 in the comments to agree with what God is revealing. You've been walking with questions that never leave your mind, wondering why certain things didn't work out the way you hoped. You've asked yourself why it had to hurt so much, why certain people left, why the timing always seems off. And while you haven't had the answers, deep down there's been a whisper that maybe, just maybe, something bigger was happening behind the scenes. That whisper was God. That quiet knowing was His Spirit speaking when words were too hard to form. God is worried about your future because you keep measuring it by your past. You keep limiting what He can do based on what you've already seen. But the truth is, what's coming is unlike anything you've known. And that's exactly why He is warning you right now. Because if you bring an old mindset into a new season, you'll misinterpret His blessings and reject what was sent to heal you. He's not just protecting you from harm, He's preparing you for something higher. And your heart must be ready to receive it. The version of you that made it through the last storm is not the version that will carry the promise that's coming. That's why you're being stripped. That's why it feels like everything around you is shifting. God is removing what cannot survive in your next season. It might feel like loss, but it's actually alignment. He's not punishing you, He's purifying you. Because if He let you walk into this next chapter carrying the same weight, you wouldn't last. You'd burn out, you'd break. And He loves you too much to let that happen. He is not looking at your life and saying, "You've failed too much." He's saying, "You're still mine, and I'm still protecting you." You might have taken detours. You might have let the wrong people in. You might have stayed in places too long. But God has never removed His eye from you. Even when you were drifting, even when your faith felt weak, He kept surrounding you, because He's not done writing your story. And the chapter you're stepping into is too important to start with the wrong foundation. God is worried that you've gotten comfortable with surviving, that you've learned how to cope, how to numb, how to perform, but you've forgotten how to really live. He created you for more than just pushing through each day. He created you for joy that runs deeper than your circumstances, for peace that cannot be shaken, for purpose that wakes you up with passion again. But that version of your life can only be unlocked when you finally surrender the version you've been trying to control. Let go. Not because it's easy, not because you feel ready, but because freedom is always found on the other side of surrender. And right now, God is offering you more than relief. He's offering you restoration. He's not just interested in patching up the broken parts of your life. He wants to renew you from the inside out. That heaviness in your chest, that tightness in your thoughts, that weight you can't explain, it's not random, it's spiritual. And God is ready to lift it. He is worried that if you keep going like this, trying to carry what's not yours, trying to fix what's not your assignment, you'll end up burnt out, bitter, and broken. That's not your portion. That's not the life Jesus died for you to live. You were not saved to suffer in silence. You were not called to keep pretending you're okay. You were made to walk in power, to live with clarity, to love with freedom, and to trust with boldness. but the pain you've carried has been silencing the fire inside you, and God is reaching for that fire again. It may feel small, it may feel distant, but it's still there. That part of you that still believes, that part of you that still hopes, that part of you that refuses to give up, even though everything around you says quit. God is speaking directly to that part of you now. That ember is about to become a flame again. Your faith is not dead. It's been buried under disappointment, but His Spirit is blowing life back into it right now. He's not asking you to be perfect. He's asking you to be honest. Honest enough to admit that you need Him more than ever. Honest enough to say, God, I've tried doing this without you, but I can't anymore. That honesty will open the floodgates of His presence over your life, because He always rushes in where there is room for Him to move. Make room. Push aside everything that's been crowding your heart. Let Him fill the space again. You are not reading this by coincidence. This moment is soaked in divine purpose. This is not entertainment. This is God reaching through time and space to tell you, I see what's coming, and I refuse to let it take you down. Come back under my wings. I'll fight for you. I'll carry you through. I'll restore what was lost. This is your lifeline. This is your turning point. And even now, heaven is rejoicing because your heart is waking up again. Is it time to unlock the same CIA secret brain ritual, changing lives in seconds? A new leak has revealed a powerful 7-second technique developed under CIA-funded research and backed by neuroscience. It's helping people magnetize wealth like never before, from debt to luxury faster than anyone believed. But this miracle won't stay public for long. Click the link in the description and comments now before it's deleted forever. You've learned how to keep going without joy, how to keep serving without rest, how to keep smiling while your soul quietly fades into exhaustion. God is worried, not because He doubts your heart, but because He sees how close you are to collapsing under the pressure. He sees what no one else sees. He hears the silent prayers you've been whispering in your mind, and He is here, right now, to pull you out before you break. What you've been feeling lately is not confusion, it's spiritual tension. It's the pressure that comes when your spirit is being pulled in two different directions, one that looks easier but leads to pain, and one that feels hard but leads to healing. That's the fight you're in right now. That's the reason you feel torn, restless, uncertain. But what you need to know is that God has already chosen the path for you, and He is speaking clearly, with urgency and compassion, because He is worried about where your next step could lead if you choose without His voice guiding you. Type 777 in the comments if you believe God is realigning your steps right now. Some of you are standing in front of a door that looks like a breakthrough but is actually a trap. It looks like everything you've been praying for, but deep down, there's a small hesitation in your spirit. That hesitation is not fear, it's discernment. It's God's Spirit pulling you back from what appears right but is not righteous. He's not trying to withhold blessings from you, He's trying to keep you from being wounded by a counterfeit. You've waited too long, cried too much, healed too deeply to go back to what only pretends to be from Him. God is not silent because He is ignoring you. Sometimes He is silent because the noise around you is too loud for you to hear His whisper. And right now, He is worried that you've started to believe the voice of the world more than the voice of your Father. You've been absorbing so much from the outside opinions, trends, comparisons, expectations that your spirit has become overwhelmed, and you've lost the stillness needed to hear Him clearly. But He is restoring that now. In this very moment, His Spirit is quieting the noise, calming your thoughts, and calling you back to a place of peace. There is no peace where there is no presence. And God's presence isn't found in crowds or chaos, it's found in closeness. He wants you back in that place where you know Him again, not just know about Him, where His voice is the loudest in your life, louder than your fears, louder than your doubts, louder than every opinion that tried to define you. You were never meant to live according to the expectations of others. You were created to follow the whisper of the one who formed you. You've been strong long enough. You've been trying to hold it all together, hoping that one day it would all make sense. But God never asked you to figure it all out. He asked you to trust Him. That trust is what He's building again right now. He is gently pulling you out of that mindset that says you always have to know what's next. Because sometimes the greatest faith is not in knowing where you're going, it's in knowing who's going with you. And God is not sending you into this next season alone. He is walking with you, step by step, word by word, moment by moment. God is worried about the delay that disobedience can cause. He's worried that you've gotten so used to pushing through in your own strength that you've forgotten how to listen for His voice before moving. Obedience is not always easy, but it is always safe. The safest place you can be is inside His will, even when you don't understand it. You don't have to see the whole staircase to take the first step. You just need to know that His hand is steadying you. And it is. There's something deep within you that's waking up again right now. That part of your spirit that still believes in miracles, that still believes in healing, that still believes that God can turn it all around in a single moment. Don't ignore that. Don't silence it. That's the Holy Spirit reminding you that what God has spoken over your life is still alive. It doesn't matter how many wrong turns you've taken. It doesn't matter how far you feel from where you thought you'd be by now. God's promise is not based on your perfection. It's based on His faithfulness. And He hasn't changed His mind about you. He's just asking you to return, not with shame, not with fear, but with surrender. He's not expecting you to come back fixed. He's just expecting you to come back open, willing, honest, even broken. Because God does His best work in brokenness. He takes the pieces that no one else can hold and turns them into something beautiful. He heals what others walk away from. He loves the parts of you that you've tried to hide. He doesn't run from your mess. He steps into it with mercy. And right now, His mercy is pulling you out of whatever was meant to destroy you. Whether it was an addiction, a relationship, a decision, a mindset, or a pattern you couldn't break on your own, He is rescuing you from it. The cycle ends here. The pain stops here. The confusion loses its grip here. Because God is not just stopping what was sent to hurt you. He is restoring what it tried to steal from you. Your peace, your clarity, your joy, your purpose. He is rewriting the story you thought was over. He's redeeming the years that felt wasted. He's reviving the dreams you buried because of disappointment. What was broken is being made whole. What was lost is being found again. What was delayed is being accelerated. And it's all happening because you chose to listen, because you chose to pause, because you chose to receive what God is saying right now. Stay with this. Your spirit is softening. Your eyes are opening. Your heart is aligning with heaven again. And the weight you've been carrying is already beginning to lift. Let it go. Let Him hold you now. You don't have to keep running. You don't have to keep hiding. You don't have to keep pretending. Do you know why? Everyone's whispering about this 7-second CIA ritual. A brainwave ritual leaked from the CIA is changing lives across the globe. Proven by neuroscience, this 7-second method helps regular people attract money, freedom, and luxury. If you're seeing this, you're very lucky. The page might disappear any moment. Click the link in the description and comments to know this secret before it's deleted forever. It's not that you don't believe in God, it's that the weight you're carrying has started to silence the belief you once held so tightly. And this is where God's heart aches for you the most. He is worried not because you're weak, but because you're wounded and pretending you're not. He's worried because you've learned to survive with broken pieces instead of allowing Him to heal you completely. God is drawing near to you now, not in anger, but in love that is deeper than the pit you feel stuck in. He has seen the moments when you almost gave up. He has watched you press on with tired feet and a heavy heart. He has heard the silent prayers, the whispered "God, please," the tears that never made a sound. And today He's reminding you He's still here, He's still fighting for you, He's still holding your heart, even if you can't feel it. Comment 999 if you believe God is holding you right now. There's something you've been trying to fix on your own for too long. Maybe it's your identity, your past, your fear of being not enough. Maybe it's the shame you've never spoken out loud. Maybe it's the constant need to prove your worth to people who don't see you the way God does. But whatever it is, He's asking you to stop fighting alone. The battle you've been facing in your mind is not one you were ever meant to face without Him. That's why He's intervening right now, because He's worried about what it's been doing to your soul. When you try to fix spiritual things with human strength, the exhaustion never ends. You start each day trying to catch up, trying to outrun the thoughts, the fears, the weight that clings to your chest. But that's not how God designed you to live. He never intended for you to live in survival mode. He created you to walk in peace, to rest in His presence, to know that even in the unknown, you are fully covered. That's the truth He's trying to bring you back to now. You are not failing because you feel weary. You are not broken because you're struggling. You are human. And you are deeply loved by the One who made you. But God is worried that if you keep trying to carry this alone, your heart will grow cold. He sees the slow drift, the way your prayers have grown shorter, your worship quieter, your joy harder to find. And He's calling you back, not with loud demands, but with a gentle whisper that says, "You don't have to do this without me anymore." There is a spiritual fight happening for your attention. The enemy doesn't need to destroy you outright, he just needs to distract you long enough to delay your purpose. He'll use comfort to numb your hunger. He'll use busyness to replace your intimacy with God. He'll use subtle lies to weaken your confidence in what God said. And before you know it, you've drifted so far that even though you're still standing, your fire is gone. That's what God is trying to save you from, not just outward harm, but inward emptiness. You were never called to a cold faith. You were never created for a life that just looks Christian on the outside but is dry and tired on the inside. You were born to carry glory, to walk with power, to speak with boldness, to live with vision. But to carry that, you must be connected to the source again. And right now God is tugging at your heart, calling you back to Him not for religion but for rescue. You don't need another motivational word. You need the presence of God to fall fresh on your life again. You need the oil that comes when you've been in the secret place. You need the restoration that only comes when you drop your pride and say, "God, I can't keep doing this my way." That's where healing begins. That's where peace returns. That's where strength comes, not the kind that wears you out, but the kind that fills you up again. God is worried that you've started to settle. You've started to tell yourself that maybe this is just how life will be, that maybe you'll never truly be free, or whole, or full of joy again. But that's a lie. That's not the life Jesus died to give you. You are not called to settle in the wilderness. You are called to enter the promised land. You are called to walk in freedom, not just talk about it. But to do that, you must let go of the lies, the guilt, the shame, and the silence that have built walls around your heart. You don't have to pretend anymore. You don't have to act like you have it all together. God already sees it all, and He loves you still. In fact, He loves you too much to leave you where you are. That's why he's speaking now. That's why the stirring won't stop. That's why the tears come when you think about his presence, because your spirit remembers what your mind forgot. He is your home. There is healing in his arms. There is peace in his voice. There is safety in his presence. And you don't have to earn it. You just have to come. You just have to return. Not halfway, not on your terms, but with a full heart that says, God, I don't know everything, but I trust you. That is where things begin to shift. That is where your soul starts to breathe again. The enemy wanted you to believe that it was too late, that you had missed your moment, that you had made too many mistakes. But God says otherwise. He says, I'm not finished with you. He says, what I started, I will complete. He says, even now, I will restore everything you thought was lost. That's not a hope, that's a promise. And when God makes a promise, he never breaks it. You are walking into a new beginning not because you earned it, but because grace found you. You are stepping into restoration not because you figured it all out, but because you finally let go. You are rising again not because of your strength, but because God refused to let the enemy have the final word over your life. Why is the government hiding this 7-second brain ritual from the public? A leaked CIA document just exposed a brain technique so powerful it's helping people cancel debt and call in wealth within days. Validated by 4 top neuroscience labs, this method is changing everything. But this secret won't stay online long. Click the link in description and comments now to access it before it's permanently deleted. The pain, the confusion, the silence you felt lately, it hasn't been a sign of God abandoning you. It's been the evidence that he's working deeply within you, pulling you out of what was draining you and preparing you for what he promised you. He is worried about what you would settle for if he allowed you to keep walking blindly. So he stopped everything just to speak to you clearly, personally, lovingly. For too long, you've been surrounded by people who couldn't see what God sees in you. You've had to defend your heart, protect your peace, and quiet your voice so others wouldn't feel uncomfortable. You've watered down your dreams, dimmed your light, and tolerated what God never called you to carry. But that season is ending. God is removing every false attachment, every voice of distraction, every person who only pulled you further from him. And it may feel like loss, but it's actually freedom. This pruning is protection. Type 1010 in the comments if you believe God is removing what no longer serves your purpose. You've been questioning why certain relationships fell apart, why some people became distant, why doors closed that once looked like opportunities. But the more you tried to keep things the way they were, the more exhausted you became. That exhaustion wasn't because you were doing something wrong, it was because God was trying to release you and you were still trying to hold on. He is not trying to take from you. He is trying to make room for what's coming next. He knows what is meant for you cannot be built on broken foundations. So he's removing the shaky parts now, the things you've been leaning on that can no longer support the weight of your calling, the habits, the thoughts, the cycles that gave you comfort but kept you stuck. He is doing what only a loving father can do. He's interrupting your routine to realign your soul. He's pulling you out of comfort to place you in purpose. And even if it hurts right now, it will heal you in the end. God is worried that if he stays silent, you'll keep running with people who were never assigned to your journey. He sees the ones who smile in your face but carry envy in their hearts. He sees the ones who love your light until it shines brighter than theirs. He sees the ones who don't celebrate your growth but feel threatened by it. And because he values your heart so deeply, he will not allow their presence to poison your path. He would rather you feel lonely for a moment than tied to people who will betray your destiny. He's doing heart surgery, removing what hurts, healing what broke, reshaping what was bent out of alignment. This is not rejection, this is refinement. This is the fire of God's love burning away everything that does not belong in the next chapter of your life. You are being purified not to be punished, but to be prepared. And the deeper the preparation, the greater the purpose. Don't run from this process. Lean into it. Let the tears fall. Let the silence speak. Let the loneliness become the space where God meets you in ways you've never known before. You were never created to blend in. You were never called to be common. That's why you've never quite fit in with certain crowds. That's why your spirit feels restless when you compromise. That's why the wrong places, the wrong people, the wrong habits don't bring peace anymore. God has marked you. You are His. And what is His cannot stay comfortable in what was meant to be temporary. He is moving you, not to harm you, to set you apart. Because chosen people must walk a narrow road, not because God is cruel, but because He knows what's waiting on the other side. He's not preparing you for ordinary. He's preparing you for divine appointments, for kingdom impact, for breakthroughs that shift entire generations. And the enemy has been trying to distract you from that by making you question your worth. But God is restoring your vision. He's reminding you who you are. You are not forgotten. You are not overlooked. You are not too late. You are right on time for what heaven has planned. You may not feel strong, but strength is being built in your surrender. You may not feel ready, but readiness is rising in your spirit. You may not have all the answers, but faith is growing in the places where fear used to live. The battles you've faced lately weren't signs of weakness, they were proof that you are stepping into territory the enemy never wanted you to reach. And God is making sure you walk into it whole. He is restoring your confidence, not the kind that comes from people's approval, but the kind that's rooted in knowing you are held by the Creator of all things. He is breathing life into dry places, filling your lungs with hope again, reminding your heart what it feels like to believe that good things are still coming, because they are. Your story is not over. In fact, the most beautiful chapters are still unwritten. If you feel like you've lost time, God is saying, I can redeem it. If you feel like you've made too many mistakes, He is saying, my grace is bigger than your past. If you feel like you've been too far gone, He is saying, I never let you go. And if you feel unworthy of a new beginning, He is saying, I already made a way. So breathe again, trust again, hope again. Your steps are being ordered, even when the path feels unclear. Your heart is being protected, even when it feels exposed. Your life is being shaped by hands that have never dropped you. He is the same God who protected you from the danger you didn't see. The same God who shut doors you cried over. The same God who whispered peace into your panic. And He is still here. Can 7 seconds really change your bank account overnight? A CIA-funded study just leaked, revealing a brain ritual that's flipping lives from broke to blessed. 4 neuroscience labs confirm it activates powerful wealth attraction brainwaves. People are now stepping into dream homes and luxury lifestyles. But this breakthrough won't stay online for long. Click the link in the description and comments now before it's deleted forever. The enemy's goal has never just been to hurt you. His goal has always been to exhaust you, to make you so numb that you stop caring, so overwhelmed that you stop hoping, so tired that you start believing maybe nothing will ever change. And in that quiet, soul-wearing space of discouragement, he begins planting lies. Lies that sound like your own thoughts. Lies that say you're too late, too flawed, too far gone. Lies that whisper that God is done with you. But today, those lies are being shattered in the presence of truth. If you believe the truth of God's love is breaking through every lie, type 1515 in the comments now. The truth is, God is still pursuing you. Not because He has to, but because He wants to. He hasn't stopped calling your name, even if your ears haven't always been tuned in to hear Him. He hasn't stopped sending signs, even when you were too distracted to notice. And He hasn't stopped protecting you, even when your steps led you into places that tried to drown your light. This moment, this very moment, is a rescue wrapped in words. Not just to soothe you, but to awaken you. Because your spirit is not meant to sleep through this season. It's time to rise again. God is worried that you've begun to let bitterness grow in the soil of your heart. You didn't mean to. It crept in slowly, quietly. A result of long waits, deep disappointments, broken expectations. You used to trust easily. You used to dream freely. But somewhere along the way, pain began to harden the edges of your hope. Now it's harder to believe, harder to expect, harder to open your heart again. And that is where He's stepping in now. Not just to heal the pain, but to restore the softness in your spirit. He is clearing out the emotional clutter, the build-up of what's gone unsaid, the disappointment you pushed aside, the grief you never named, the comparisons that slowly convinced you that others were more favored than you. God sees it all. And in His presence, you don't need to pretend. He's not rushing you, He's not scolding you, He's sitting with you in the silence, whispering that it's safe to let Him see everything He already knows. The struggle, the shame, the thoughts you're afraid to speak, the dreams you've stopped praying for. And He's still choosing you, still loving you, still fighting for the future He placed inside of you long before the wounds tried to change your worth. There is something holy about this moment right now, something sacred about the stillness settling over your soul. You might not realize it, but God is closer now than He's ever been. His Spirit is hovering over you, quieting your fears, breathing life into places you thought were beyond repair. You are not just being spoken to, you are being embraced by heaven itself. And He's not worried about the pace of your progress. He's only worried about the posture of your heart. If your heart is willing, He will restore what's broken. If your heart is open, He will fill what's been empty. If your heart is surrendered, He will carry what's too heavy for you to hold. You were never created to handle all of this alone. You've survived things that others would have crumbled under. You've walked through storms that no one knew about. But survival is not your calling. Victory is. Freedom is. Joy is. Peace is. But these cannot grow in soil that has been hardened by constant striving. That's why God is softening you again. He's removing the layers that life tried to build over your heart. He's reminding you that tenderness is not weakness, that childlike faith is not foolishness, that hope, even in the face of disappointment, is holy. You don't need to have all the answers. You don't need to explain your past. You don't need to clean yourself up before you come. You just need to come, as you are, with every fear, every failure, every scar, because it's in the raw, unfiltered offering of yourself that His presence moves the deepest.